This video has to do with grouping multiple sheets and the use of absolutes. The name of the file is called Practice Final Exam No Answer. Now, a couple of things we want to look at right off in the beginning. The sheets are listed down here: quarter 1, 2, 3, quarter 4, and all 4 quarters. The thing that you should notice is that these 5 sheets are whited out. Secondly, when you go up to the name of the file, it has Practice Final Exam No Answer Group. What this all means is that when your sheets are whited out and the file is showing group, it means that you have a group of sheets that have been all grouped together. What that allows you to do is to make a change in one sheet that is copied into all the other sheets that are grouped together. It's a tremendous time saver, but it can also be a problem. If you make a mistake on one sheet, that same mistake is copied onto all the other sheets that are grouped together. So you have to be very careful with this. Once again, right now they're all grouped together, they're all whited out. In order to ungroup the sheets, you kind of hover over the sheets, right click, and then ungroup sheets. Now, our objective here is that we're going to determine the average, the minimum, and maximum for the units. Once again, what we're trying to do here is to determine the average, the minimum, and maximum for the 3 types of products: Dell, HP, and Apple, by all 3 territories, for all of the 5 sheets: quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and also the all 4 quarters. Once again, like we want to do it for each of the sheets, determine this average, minimum, and maximum. Second part of the problem is to determine the revenue by territory for each of the 3 products, the Dell, HP, and Apple computers. But we want to do it not only for just one sheet, but all 5 of the sheets: quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and all 4 quarters. Now what we could do is we could do our calculations for each sheet individually. We could do it first off for quarter 1, then quarter 2, 3, 4, and lastly for all 4 quarters. However, there is an easier way of doing this, of tackling this problem. And what we're going to do is try to save some time. Time is money, and the quickest way to do the problem is the best way to do it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to end up grouping the sheets together. So whatever we do to one sheet gets copied on to all the other sheets that we've grouped. We're going to begin by left-clicking on quarter 1, the sheet called quarter 1. Next, we're going to hold down the Shift key and left-click on all 4 quarters. What's happened here is that quarters 1, 2, 3, 4, and all 4 quarters are all whited out. That means that they're grouped together. If we look at the file on the top here, it's now saying Practice Final Exam No Answer Group. And I mean, that is in fact what we want to do. Go over that again. We're going to ungroup the sheets just to practice. Right click, ungroup, left click on quarter 1, hold down the Shift key and left click on all 4 quarters. We're going to begin by going up to cell B10. And what we're going to do is we're going to determine the average. So we're going to highlight from B6 all the way down to B8. Keep in mind, I did not highlight total. I'm going to come over here and use the average function. The answer is 210, but I want to double check that. Make sure that it's okay. So by quickly double left clicking rangefinder, I see that my formula is correct. I can go to the fill handle and copy that information or copy that pattern all the way across. We're going to determine the minimum next. So we're going to highlight from B6. It's going to be the same range, B6 to B8. Minimum, MIN, it's 200. We want to double check. Use our rangefinder by quickly double left clicking. And once again, we can see that our formula is correct. It's minimum B6 to B9. Next, we're going to determine our maximum. We will highlight from B6 all the way down to B8. Click on max and double check our results. Now, to determine the revenue for each territory by product. Revenue is always determined by taking the quantity sold by a selling price. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with an equal signs. We're going to take 210 dells multiplied by the selling price for a dell, which happens to be in cell B24. We're going to make that an absolute. So again, it's fixed. Absolute, we're going to get that by hitting F4. Hit enter. Looking at that formula. B6 multiplied by $B $24. We can copy that across. For the HP, it would be 200 multiplied by 875, which is an absolute. It's fixed. As a double check. And lastly, we'll do the apples. 220 multiplied by 1200, which is an absolute. The revenue or sales price for the apple will always be in B26. Drag it across. And quickly check it. 15 apples multiplied by 1200. Now, everything is grouped. After performing these calculations, it is important that we ungroup the sheets. They're all grouped right now. We need to ungroup them. So right click, ungroup sheets. Next, we're going to go all the way over to all 4 quarters. And in the all 4 quarters sheet, we want to perform a formula that will add the amount of units sold for quarters 1 plus quarters 2 plus quarters 3 plus quarter 4. Now once again, this all 4 quarters sheet, this is a summary sheet. And we're trying to add quarter 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So we start off in cell B6 in that all 4 quarters sheet. Hit auto sum. We go all the way over to our starting point, which is in quarter 1. Cell B6. Once again, it's telling us this right now. Right now what the formula is saying is add sheet quarter 1, cell B6. But that's only our starting off point. We want to go all the way over to quarter 4. And how we do that is by holding down the shift key and left clicking on quarter 4. Our formula is now showing sum starting at quarter 1 sheet, colon, all the way up to quarter 4 sheet in cell B6. That is correct. We're going to hit enter. We put our cursor inside of this cell here in B6. It's showing that the formula is add quarter 1, colon, all the way up to quarter 4 into cell B6. We can copy that formula over and drag it down because it is the same pattern. Next, we're going to clear out these zeros here. You don't have to, but I would recommend that you do. So clear out the zeros, this information right here, right click and clear contents. What we want to do next is to sum the revenue for each of the products starting at quarter 1 all the way up to quarter 4. And it's going to be a similar type of operation that we just did. We're in cell B15. We're going to click on auto sum. Click on quarter 1. That's our beginning point. And then left click on cell B15. They're the dells. What this is saying right now is add in the sheet called quarter 1 to cell B15. That's our beginning off point, the beginning of our range. But in order to get the rest of the range, what we need to do is hold down the shift key and then left click on quarter 4. That's the end of our range. We're adding, starting at quarter 1, all the way up to quarter 4, into cell B15. Hit enter. Check our formula. It's quarter 1 through quarters 4. In cell B15, we can drag that over and now drag it down.